we should be live soon.
Mache should be live.
All right. Cool. Welcome everybody. Welcome to this Ubisoft special streaming live stream celebrating the 20th anniversary of Rayman 2. Right here today with me, I am Peo from Ubisoft, and right here today with me I have SpikeVegeta, Shoutcaster and Speedrunner, and Glackum, who will be doing this run today. So Glackum, who just lost the first position on the speedrun last week.
Oh yeah.
What a way to introduce you. All right, so we've got the former world record holder, just got destroyed, but a very good speedrunner, So, but yeah, here we are, guys. Again, it is the 20th anniversary of Rayman 2: The Great Escape, one of my personal childhood favorites. Absolutely adore this game. Both of us have put a lot of time into running this game. Him a lot more than me. And we're going to get to show off what a modern speedrun of it looks like.
20 years later.
It looks a little different than probably it looked like when you played it in your childhood. We're actually going through the opening cutscene right now. While we're finishing this up, we're getting the run set up. Do you want to explain to you guys, if any of you have never seen a speedrun before, the main goal of a speedrun is we're just trying to get from the beginning of the game to the end of it as quickly as possible.
By whatever means.
Yes.
So that includes glitches, bugs, and things that you are not supposed to do in the base game.
Yeah.
Movement tech also, trying to go move fast, run through walls.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of goofy stuff in this. We're not using anything external. There's not like a Game Shark or any crazy things like that going on. We will be using one code that is actually in the PC version of this, and all it's going to be doing, right here, Glackum's actually typing in no movies. That's going to allow us to skip all the cutscenes. It's going to make this about a 30-minute shorter run. We're going to be going for a goal of somewhere around like the hour 20 range. We'll see how you're able to execute it. But with that, yeah, is there anything else you want to introduce before we jump right into the run?
No, I think we are all set. If the timer is ready, Glack will do the countdown and we'll go.
All right. So timer in 5, 4, 3,
2, 1, go! All right. Good luck, Glack. So right off the bat, he's already using some movement tech. There are these slides right here that you're going to see throughout the run that we go down in different forms. But he's actually jumping down them constantly because you actually maintain a lot of momentum in your jumps coming off of slides. So he's going to be doing that all over the place. It will be at the lack of some control, but you are cutting out some of the having to like curve around and whatnot by doing that. Here we got our buddy Murphy. We've seen him in a lot of iterations of Rayman games throughout the years. In this game, he's basically just a little tutorial character. Teaches you how to do stuff, tells you what you're doing. We see him a lot here in this first level. But we're seeing our main objective of the game. These are the MacGuffins of this game, the lums. There are 1,000 of them throughout the game. Most levels will have about 50 in them. Some exceptions, like this one only has 5. They actually want you to collect all 5 here to be able to move on. But overall, we need 550 of them in order to beat the game. There's no way that we've been able to find to like glitch around that or anything. There are cutscenes later on that will check that you have these lum requirements. 5 here, and later on 100, 300, 475, and 550 respectively. So big number obviously we're shooting for is just that 550. So with that, collected all 5 lumps, gonna break open this cage, meet the teensies, skip the movie, and we're already done with our first level. And into the fairy glide, the first like major level. Yeah, that one goes by real fast. You know what you're doing.
And right here we're about to see one of the first super interesting glitches of the game, which is coming up right now.
Yeah, this is a very difficult trick right here.
You just gotta keep like mashing yourself into the corner.
Yeah, this is a super cool trick that skips a large chunk of the first part of the level. As cool as that shimmy was, it's not exactly what we're looking for.
No.
So what we're looking for right now is to get into the water and being hold on the ledge and to trigger this, the air swim.
Very nice. Air swimming. So basically we're getting to fly right now. And as you can see, all these textures, all these walls we're flying through, then build the walls all the way up. So with that, we're just going right to the end of the entire first section, saving multiple minutes over the course of that first part of the level. So really good stuff. Got that one relatively quickly. Now, to keep in mind, guys, again, we need to collect those 550 lums throughout it. So The routing for which 550 lums we collected throughout the run has changed so many times because we found all these cool glitches and tricks and everything that skip over chunks of levels. Because while we're getting to skip those chunks, now all of a sudden, woo, big jump right there. That does mean we're having to supplement those lums with other lums in other places. So.
And we do have specific gates because it's 550 for the ending.
For the final one. But, yeah. The first one we're looking for, this is level 2 of 18 that we're going to end up playing. Level 5 is going to be the first place where it checks in to see if you have 100 lums. If he does everything he's supposed to, he should easily have that 100.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be no problem.
If it's a problem, we miscounted horribly somewhere. So.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself often checking in, like counting your lums or anything? Or do you just trust that you know the route?
Yeah. At the very end of the run, I'll make sure to check my count around beneath the Sanctuary of Rock and Lava. That's like right after I get the 475 check to see whether or not I have enough for Tomb of the Ancients.
You're also seeing him constantly jumping up these spider webs right here. Just a little faster way of climbing, just spamming up that as opposed to just the normal climb animation. Cuts out the kind of back and forth animation. Now, it's also worth pointing out right here just some basic mechanics of the game. We've talked about these lums that we're trying to collect. The little yellow ones are the big collectible of the game. But there's also 3 other colors of them. There are the red ones, which actually represent your health. You can also get them from enemy drops in right there. Very nicely executed right there to point out real quick. Normally they want you to kind of jump down and do like a trampoline up and down. You bounce up 3 times, you hit that switch. But instead, by manipulating Rayman's position, he's able to shoot down, hit that switch on the same jump. He just jumps over to where the doorway is. So that saves him a good like 10 seconds or so right there. But yeah, again, the red ones represent health. The light green ones actually represent checkpoints. So whenever he gets those, if he then takes a death at some point, then he will warp back to that location. And there are also blue ones we'll see later on a few times underwater.
Yeah, the underwater ones make sure that you have an oxygen limit when you're underwater, and you're going to need to make sure to keep your oxygen levels up in certain parts of the run.
Now right here, this is actually a pretty tricky section. So you need to break open these 3 metal bandages with these barrels. But he actually has to have pretty optimized movement in order to make sure that he doesn't have to wait too long on these cannonballs that come at you. So you're going to see him get very close, make sure he locks on to the bandages quickly before the cannonballs pop up, and then as he's coming back, throws a rebound of the shot. A really cool mechanic of this game where your shocks actually get a rebound and hit onto those cannonballs to get rid of them. You're also seeing him throw the barrel up in the air and then moving Rayman forward just a few inches so that he can recatch it and then be a little bit further ahead, cutting out some of the slow walking.
I'm not skipping this cutscene until I see Rayman here. It teleports you right up to Lee, the fairy. If you do it any earlier, you'll just be in front of the machine that I just destroyed, and it loses you a decent chunk of time.
Yeah, right there, we now have the purple lums as well. Work as basically swings, like almost like a vine that we can use to get across little sections. And Glack wants to be careful about knowing when to sort of get Rayman to let go so he can flick off of it and have a lot of speed and just horizontal movement to it.
So what we just saw him, like when he grabbed that ledge here, is actually a setup for quite complicated glitch and even a bit hard to explain, but basically what this does inside the game engine is that it saves his position on that ledge, and what he's going to do is to make this position move so that during the setup that we see right here, all these actions will allow him to make this latest grab location move so that Rayman tries to grab onto something else all the way back up here. And this is what we call the tornado skip, which will allow him to basically glide all the way to the top of this trunk. But this is a very difficult one.
Yeah, I know Glackum talks about this is an absolute run killer. So failed it once there. You can tell by it pushing him back. Oh! Ooh.
No, I don't think this is it anymore.
All right. He's going to try one more time. If not, we'll just have to head up the tornadoes as usual.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
All right.
Yeah. So, not surprising. I know people are talking about that is an absolute run killer. It's at least for when we do speedruns of it, it doesn't take terribly long. to get back to this point. You would have to reset the run, go back 7 minutes. But it's probably a trick that overall saves like 30, 40 seconds in the run.
Yeah.
What would have happened, as Pale was alluding to, it would have just skyrocketed him up into the air.
Skipping all the tornadoes, yeah.
Yeah. This will allow him to pick up a couple of extra lums, so that's something that's dynamic about this run, is that when a trick maybe doesn't go right, he can pick up a few extra lums in a few locations, and that'll skip out on some slower lums later on, so he can cut into that 30, 40-second time loss.
And also, it's quite a recent glitch. It has been found, like, I think, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we actually did this run at Awesome Games Done Quick. If any of you haven't watched that event, a charity speedrunning event we do. And it was found out, I think, right after we did that run.
Yep. Pretty much right after. Some new people were interested in the run, found the glitch. Forgotten Ice was able to find a setup for Tornado Skip.
We're going to get a nice long tether here. And then
just barely missing the lum. But that's fine. There's plenty of lums. We only need 550 lums out of 1,000 lums.
Yeah.
A lot of them are on the way. Most of them that we're going to be getting off the beaten path will be cages, not necessarily lums, just individually. And a lot of cages hold like anywhere from 3 to 10 lums each.
Right.
But they're all, you know, they're fixed numbers for each different cage, so I know wherever all of them are, they'll be fine.
So that's the end of level 2 right here, the Fairy Glade. Obviously skipped over some big chunks of that. Now we're going to a level that doesn't really have any major skips to it. It's just very, very difficult, I know, casually for a lot of people. Scary little jump right here. He's making sure that he does a soft tap with his jump right there to make sure that he gets good height and good distance, and he doesn't bonk that rooftop right there and falls down. Reason why this level was an absolute nightmare for people casually was just this whole level right here. Having to ride on this, basically doing this like almost like surfboard section. So what's going to be tough for Glackum is that because this level, there's no major skips or anything, he wants to maximize getting all the lums he can. So he's going to try to get a full 49 lums along the route. Each of these 3 cages along this round path here have 5 lums apiece. He wants to make sure he's going to grab all of them. It's denoted they're 5 when they have like the big happy face on them. So that's how you know they're big lums, and we pretty much want to get most all of those.
I always want to be holding down the strafe button because it'll put you into this hanging low animation. That speeds you up a lot. It also lets you pass through certain sprites like that without getting killed.
I was like, that's cheating. You cheated there. I'm mad that you didn't die.
Not the part where I went through the air swim?
No, that part was fine. You got hit by a cannonball and you didn't eat it. I'm mad. Alright, anyways, this is the hardest jump right here, actually grabbing all these lums. Nice. Really nice job. You got to land off a very specific spot of that turtle shell. I call them turtles. I think they're turtles. In order to bounce up and get all of the 3 of those lums. So good job on Glackum. Really well executed level.
And we are 49, so that means we're not at 100% looms, which avoids having the bonus level as well.
Yes. We actually, funny enough, will be coming back to this level later on to get that 50th lum. It's off on a side path. But yeah, we want to avoid it because right here in the little count-up screen, the results screen, it's going to check that you get all the cages and the lums. And if you did all of it, then yeah, it would start a bonus level. You can skip out of the bonus level, but obviously it would still waste a number of seconds that we don't want to bother wasting in the run. Right there, we have the infamous cutscene where Razorbeard,
yes,
decides to eat our 1,000th lum.
Aww.
And for about 15 years, I thought that lum was legitimately dead, that you could never get it.
But
might learn a little something later on for you guys. So right here, once again, Glackum, he pretty much always wants to do those soft taps to get as much distance out of it as he can to wait not having to land on the, or ride these like slower auto-scrolling platforms. Also, another minor mechanic you guys might have noticed back there, it actually tracks how many cages you've broken in the game overall. Every 10 cages, Glackum gets a health refill and a health extension. So that's a little way where sometimes we could route out, possibly. I don't think it's routed necessarily in the route these days, but it's also worth pointing out. That you can, when you want to get that health refill back. This game's thankfully pretty generous about giving you a lot of health, though.
And it's useful at the end of the game because for the lava cascade skip, for instance, you take a lot of damage when you go through that.
That's a very good point. So again, it's going to be after this level right here that we're going to need that 100 lumps. Again, he should be well on pace for it coming through here. But Marches of Awakening and Bayou are definitely 2 levels where even if there were many skips, we'd still want to collect most all of the lumps from these levels.
Yeah, we're going to be spending a lot of time like not getting lumps in different parts of this game. So any level where you get a bunch of lumps is a godsend.
Yeah. Nice trick shot right there, right as he's coming around the corner. Again, because there are a lot of platforms covering up that cage. A nice sniping that fish way off screen right there. Otherwise, his cycle would be right there ready to catch him as he's bobbing up and down. I believe right here we got the pirate coming up. Yeah. So, went ahead and tried to manipulate. Let's see if we can give him some serious time.
No.
All right.
It's fine.
I won't go for it.
You can get a little damage boost here if you get hit in the back while you are in the air. And that's why Glackum tried to win for.
Yeah, very, very difficult trick. He actually needs to hover over and then cancel out of the hover with Rayman throwing a shot right as the pirate's about to hit him, and that would kind of boost him forward and allow Glackum to restart his hover, saving just a few seconds right there, not having to actually kill the pirate. Again, this speedrun started off, I would say, relatively chill back in the day. It was a lot of just high execution, but all the tricks and glitches are very, very difficult in this game. So this run has become brutally hard over the years. Nice weaving his way through the platforms there. This is another spot where they want you to go around and shoot this little switch that pushes the gate out. But if you actually get a nice hover, you can actually just extend out and get the purple lump instead without it.
This guy, when he actually steps on you, there's a very long animation where he repeatedly stomps on you. So we want to avoid that as well.
I just want to say that hitbox made no sense when it did work. A lot of stuff when it's just off camera in this screen, it actually isn't loaded in, so that's probably what was going on there.
Yeah, it's hard to interact with stuff when it's not on screen.
Trying to do another trick shot right here. Break over that cage, because that cage actually has the teensy in it. And the teensies are what dance around and open up these portals in order to X out of all these different levels. So he's making sure the teensy's already started his movement coming up here, and then he goes over and breaks open that cage. Gets another full set of 49 out of 50 lumps, which, again, avoiding that cutscene, get the maximum amount otherwise.
For those wondering why I was just kind of inside the teensy, he doesn't really move unless you're like standing directly next to him, and he won't dance either unless you're standing directly next to him. So I can't just stand next to the portal or anything to make sure it works. Alright, this is where I would have checked for 100 lums. And obviously we're in the level, so we definitely had 100 lums. Good for us. This is going to be our second air swim in the run, I believe.
Yeah, I know you talked to the devs about some of the tricks in this game, and you talked about, there's like some stuff with like Rayman's a couple of potatoes or something.
Well, basically the thing is, so for the air swim trick, it's Rayman goes into collision between the wall, and the thing is, Rayman's hitbox is actually 2 potatoes on top of one another, basically potato-shaped shapes, and if one of them goes beyond the wall, very nice, well the second tries to follow the first one, which means Rayman, the entirety of Rayman goes through the wall.
And right here, what's important, he gets that speed boost whenever you come back into bounds. He actually needs to have really clean movement once he gets out there, because as you can see, the game still thinks he's underwater, including that air meter. So he's grabbing all these lumps, and then he has to hit this load zone. You hit it with so much time to spare. That was really good.
It's funny, that section of the level right there, actually in the PS1 version, is in fact underwater, but in the original N64 and PC versions, they're not underwater.
Yeah, this game
looks like you're underwater, but you're not actually.
Yeah, Rayman 2's had a lot of different releases over the years for all sorts of different consoles, so it's had a lot of different versions. This one is commonly based off of the N64/Dreamcast/PC version of the game.
N64 was actually the master, the first version that the dev team made. And so one of the things is that they tried initially, they were targeting for 60 FPS on the N64, but as it was demanding too many resources because of all the polygons, they went for 30 FPS in the end, which slowed the game down and like made it easier, some of the tricks easier to do, which is why on PC some levels are way harder.
We'll see if we still have the speed to make this work.
Ah, no.
Oh.
I messed up pretty bad.
That's okay. We were talking during the whole thing, so now we can actually explain it. That was you being good to us. So he's actually going to take an intentional death right here just to reset the positioning of this boss. We're trying to skip out on the boss fight itself. Normally it wants you to swing up these purple lums and then knock that icicle down on him. But we're lovers, not fighters here in the Rayman world, in some fights anyways. So instead we're going to do, I speedrun Mario 64, I call this the backwards long jump. He's trying to gain more speed every time he jumps up this thing. Let's see if he's able to make it. Ah!
That's a tough one.
That's all right. Third try every time.
Yeah, this will be the one right here.
Yeah, every time he jumps up, if he doesn't let Rayman slide, every time he does another backwards jump right here, it's actually going to multiply his speed over and over again.
Nah, you hit me. I'm gonna go for it normally now.
Yeah. If he had been able to skip on it, he wouldn't have had to take out the boss. All right, we're back to fighters, not lovers.
You have to dodge the projectiles at the same time and then hit the ice cone. Nice.
Yeah! That's actually one of the only yays we get to listen to now. We're trying to skip out on the rest of them.
That's right, because we do
Pretty
skip
much
the bunch
all
of,
of
yay, Rayman!
Yeah! Those are too slow, dude. We're speedrunners.
So at this point in the game, this is the first time we meet Polokus, right?
Yep.
You get to see him for 2 seconds. Oh, you don't get to see him.
Well, you saw him in the load
Yeah,
screen right there,
that's
actually.
enough.
That was the, 2 seconds, 1 second we got to see him for. But yeah, he actually, in addition to the 550 lums we're trying to collect, we're also trying to collect the 4 masks of Polokus. And once we get all of those, that will allow us to go to the final level, the prison ship, and go save all our friends. So, these, walking shells are horse, dog, rocket things. I don't know. I love the Rayman series. It's goofy as all heck. But, yeah, we're actually going to get to use those to run across those bramble and be able to break open that wall to get the cage.
Because the bramble texture is insta-kill.
A couple of the slower lums that we pick up in the route here, again, just so many tricks and skips have been found in this game that we've slowly had to route other lums back in. All right, going to go for another big trick right here. Going to try to completely skip over this walking shell, almost feels like a bit of an obstacle course, like a race segment. So
This
give
one
us
is
some serious
difficult,
time. Yeah, very difficult trick.
No.
All right. One difficult thing about running the PC version of Rayman 2 is that certain tricks are just way more finicky on different PCs, so had to do a lot of finagling this one with a different setup.
What we're trying to do right here is to get the missile to face the wall when it stops, not after. All right.
It was working before.
Again, we ended up restarting the computer a couple times to see if that would fix the trick. We switched from window to full screen mode.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, it's up to you whenever we want to
I'm
just
gonna
take
try
it.
one more time.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool little obstacle course section, so I don't think it's the worst thing we show it off.
Yeah, we can do it. All right.
Yeah. So that now we just have to bait him out until he gets tired. You won't be able to actually walk on him. So we try to bait him to the point where he's just facing straight on, and then we can go. So now you're seeing the main mechanic of it. We're actually trying to boost as much as possible. Every time you see that flame shooting out of the back of it, he's going to want to do that the whole time. We're a little out of practice because we probably haven't done this in a good year.
Yeah, it's been forever.
It's not the usual route.
But again, this is going to allow him to get a lot more lums. So this will cut down on some slower lums he might have had to pick up later on.
I just gotta make sure to not boost at certain parts of the slope because the slope doesn't appreciate me boosting.
No, yeah, so right here you want to be very careful, especially this curve section.
Yeah, if you actually boost right where that nettle was right there, the last nettle, you can actually just get veered to the right and die. So
Nice trick shot right there. For being out of practice, haven't done that in forever. Was able to angle that to get around the wall. So that is actually where we would have skipped to. And that's the end of Menor Hills 1.
So we press escape there so that when I reload the save at the end of Cave of Bad Dreams, it'll put me right in front of Water and Ice with my stuff. I won't have to go through any portals or anything to get back into the game. I actually haven't saved the entire run so far. So what'll happen is when I reload my save, because it starts as like a 0% save file when you open up a new game, it'll keep your lum count, it'll keep whatever items you got in the level. So I'll be getting the elixir of life from Jano here at the end.
Yes, kind of the lore of what's going on is our good buddy Clark, that you guys missed in that cutscene by there. Big burly dude. He unfortunately is very, very sick, so we're coming here to get the elixir of life from Giano, but he needs you to basically pass his test. And this level, very infamous, I think, for a lot of people when they first played it. This level terrified me as a kid.
Oh, this is so creepy. It's actually a scary game.
Yeah, I was about to say, Rayman series is always shot for, like, whimsical, very wacky and goofy, but also some, like, bits of just, like, pretty creepy, dark, terrifying stuff. So, like these arms right here, never get caught by them. I almost wish you could show it off real quick, just see how terrifying it is.
That'd lose a lot.
That would lose a lot of time. But yeah, those arms are one-shots. They pull you right into the wall, they beat you up. It's not a good time. Fun fact, this was where I ended up returning the game back to Blockbuster or something as a kid. Because it wasn't on these pillars, but one of the walls back there, I didn't understand you could grab the bone structures. So, yeah, I was a smart child, as you can tell.
If it makes you feel better, when I did Rayman 3, the Desert of the Canarans scared me out of my mind. And not only that, there was just this wall jumping part that I didn't realize as a kid you could wall jump on.
Oh,
and
okay,
I
so
never
we're in the
finished
same boat.
Rayman 3
oh, thank
God.
God. So there are two major skips here. This is normally a very, very lengthy level. Even speedrun well, probably a good like 15 minutes long. First big trick is going for right here. Oh, see, this almost terrifying. Jump scare right there. That yellow orb is what you're supposed to use. I love that you just chucked
that
it
out of the way.
I don't want it. Normally you would put it on top of that.
Oh, that's a nice one.
But
so what he did right here is grab the texture right in the corner, which actually makes him grab to the ledge, but on the other side of the wall. So he can do what you can see here, which is go on the other side of the ledge.
Those mini Janos can eat you, by the way. That's why I was freaked out. I thought he was gonna eat me. And then, you know, that's bad.
Coming up is a frame perfect trick.
In a 60 frame per second game.
Alright.
I actually got it the frame after, even though I had no visual cue.
Yeah, so what he actually wants to do is he wants to take the death here, and on the frame right before you come back, on the frame right before you would come back, he needs to pause. And that actually breaks Giano from chasing you right here.
Yeah, because the pause in this game, so it tells all the entities, or most of the entities of the game, to completely stop doing what they're doing. And if he does it at the perfect frame, when the race is reset, that means that Giano will not be spawned because we paused his behavior. But that's a very difficult one because it's a frame perfect in a 60 FPS game, so this is 60th of a second to get right.
Yeah. I actually got it first time in practice earlier. I feel like I lost all my luck to that.
Yeah. Thankfully, we can retry it pretty quickly here. About every 10 to 15 seconds, we could try it again. But this is a massive skip. Definitely want to be able to hit this one. And what will indicate that we got it? You see that little text box that comes from Lee the Fairy at the bottom? Her text will not be there.
It will basically just be a black empty box.
Yeah, we always talk about it in speedrunning. I don't know what it is. About a lot of older video games where, like...
Oh, I thought so.
Where, for whatever reason, the first frame of animations, a lot of time, things are just different. And that's why so many tricks, people here probably think it's BS all the time. But, yeah, things just work differently on the first frame a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like in Rayman 1, if you're in like a rolling animation and you keep jumping, it'll like keep your momentum of whatever you had. Like let's say you just like got off the ring with a lot of speed, it would keep all your momentum if you jump on the very first frame. So that doesn't save much time RTA, but it saves a ton of time in the task. The tool-assisted speedrun, for those who don't know,
I was about to say, yeah, tool-assisted speedruns are really cool. Hopefully, you know, people after this want to check out just like more speedruns in general. But in addition to speedruns, there are TASs, TASs, or tool-assisted speedruns. And you can search for those, YouTube, all over the internet. And they're basically what we can't normally do as humans. Like crazy things like pressing left and right on the same frame and whatnot. And with the help of tools and frame advancing, we're basically able to make a movie of the speedrun where everything is perfect. Everything goes exactly how you would want it to go, even beyond what humans are capable of doing.
So for the people joining us right now, we are going through the Rayman 2 speedrun for the 20th anniversary of Rayman 2. We are at E3 right now. We are actually in Ubisoft's backlot. I am Peo from Ubisoft. This is SpikeVegeta and Glackum. And coming right after, in about an hour from now, we have the Ubisoft pre-show, Ubisoft Live at E3, followed in 2 hours from now by the Ubisoft press conference. And in 3 hours from now, there should be the Rainbow Six show match. So you have a lot of stuff to watch with us, and so stick with us. And we also have Twitch drops enabled. So if you watch 30 minutes of this stream, right now, the Rayman 2 speedrun stream, you would actually get Rayman Origins for free via Uplay if you link your account.
Rayman Origins and Legends, two of my absolute favorite modern 2D platformers. Feels so good to move in those games. A lot of cool collectibles and everything going on in it. It's fun for multiplayer as well. Super hectic. We even got some people possibly in the back here playing some Rayman Legends right now. Definitely worth it to get in for that giveaway and get a free copy of an amazing 2D platformer in Rayman Origins.
So how much time do we save with this trick, actually?
Save over 2 minutes. You skip having to do an entire auto-scroll fight with Jano. You can skip a couple of skulls on his normal setup with his fight. There we go.
Oh, nice. Able to get it. So again, no text right there. And the reason why we wanted to do this is because, one, Jano's not chasing us now. We just get it. But it's not just for the ease of that. He could have done it. We promise. Glackum could have slid down the slide normally. There is a random hole somewhere on this slide right here that we can now fall into. If Jano was chasing us, he would have killed us. Now we're looking at the rest of the level and the very end of the level right here. So he's actually going to try to hover his way down, kind of constantly pumping the hover button, the little hair twirl, to where he can land on the end of that platform and completely skip over the boss fight, saving a massive 2 minutes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, there are kind of like tiers of speed that Rayman can go. When he's in the air, he's slightly slower than when he's walking on the ground. When he's hovering, that's even slower. So more or less, we want to be on the ground as much as possible. Alright, so we load our save here. We go back, because we've used up so many lungs from doing skips that we're going to be doing now and in the future, that we have to actually go into the Walk of Life and get a bunch of lungs.
Yeah, this is how far the speedrun has come to where, like, we're actually doing this. Because I remember back, I ran this game like 10 years ago, actually, like 11 years ago, 2008, 2007 even, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But pretty much you could get 550 lums just along the path when there weren't that many skips. Now, it's like, yeah, they've skipped out on so many. We're going to try to get a full, like, 46 lums right here and then cut out of the level. This is just a race segment with Lee the Fairy. A lot of lums pretty quickly. But that's just kind of how it happens. So.
And one of the things that we saw, like as this section, there's not much for us to talk about in this very part. In during the Jano skip and the thing where we go below the map, one of the things to note is that in for this game, the two teams were working on the art direction, so the skin of the maps that you see around, and the collision map, which determines where are the walls, where is the ground, where's the ceiling. They were working on different floors at Ubisoft. They were like 2 floors apart. So
90s game development, everyone.
exactly. So that means they had no phone or no internet, and when someone made a change to the actual collision map, well, they had to run all the way to the other floor to the people who made the art of the map and to say, okay, guys, you need to fix this because now the floor is like a bit higher, a bit lower, and we don't want Rayman to clip. So that was something. Oh, you got it.
All right, so right here I'm gonna do the load warp a second time to get out quickly. All right, we're back. Going to Menor again. We're gonna give Clark back his elixir.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try the out of bounds one.
You're gonna, oh no, I was gonna
One
say
more
you
time.
got to give it another crack. See if something randomly changed while we were doing it.
If it doesn't work, I can just, you know, get on the shell this time. So there's actually a cutscene here that kind of auto forces you to walk and then jump, but you can jump early.
Cutting out just like a little bit of lag time watching Rayman auto move himself.
Are we trying this again?
We're gonna try it one time.
All right.
See what happens. Baby.
There we go.
Okay, we got to see
That's
it.
what
Very
we're
nice.
supposed to
I'm
see.
so happy.
And that's actually a very good demonstration of what I meant between the actual collision map
Yeah.
and the visual map, which means like we saw Glack just going through the wall right here, and that's because the two maps are not the same.
Nice that there's a little place where you can actually still grab the ledge even though the gate's right there. And important to note, the lums that are in the cages, there's generally more lums in them, as Glack was alluding to earlier, but also just the fact that a lot of them magnetize to you if they're in a cage. So he has to know a certain distance away from each of the lums he can be and still attract them towards him.
But it varies from cage to cage, right?
Yes. Yeah, and lum to lum. Some lums by themselves will just come towards you.
All right, so tire him out. Let's go up.
Yeah, he made sure he actually baited him out to come over, then went up and got the cage. So a little bit of multitasking going on right there.
This turn right there auto forces you to like center yourself to the right. It's very weird.
A little bit of a scary section. If he bumps, he's dead. But very nice. Get
There
out of
you go.
Menor. Good Menor Hills 2 right there. All right. Now on to the canopy, where we have a number of pretty cool tricks. But first of all, we talked about the Cave of Bad Dreams being some nightmare fuel. Here's some real nightmare fuel. This idiot chasing you the entire way. This spider was terrifying. Generally, Glackum's going to want actually really clean movement right here. Otherwise, kind of what they intend you to do is use that purple lum right there to kind of get a couple lums and then jump off.
Oh.
Yeah, as you can
That's
see.
fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay. There's actually a purple one. Oh, of course.
And the thing is this spider goes super fast actually, so it's also why it's particularly scary when you play this for the first time, because it goes faster than you, so you have to use some
Much
tricks.
faster. I use the lum and he's already coming for me.
Nice trick shot right
Oh,
there.
All right.
Let's see it. All right, he can run really fast, but can he jump very high? Nope,
Nope.
apparently not.
He actually does climb out of the pit onto the other
Yeah,
side.
I didn't know till you showed me that yesterday. You just look down. He's just chilling in the pit like, don't you look at me. Gonna go for another trick shot. They want you to kill this pirate on that platform across from there. But by actually aiming your shot off of that, you can get a trick shot and open up the
We're gonna kill him.
open up the path to Glowbox right there. You got to waste a few seconds. Go ahead and just doing it. Because again, you can see that switch up there, but the game actually kind of messes with your auto targeting to make sure that you have to kill the pirate right there. Otherwise, it won't auto target onto the switch to let Glowbox out. Here's our buddy Glowbox, saved us at the beginning of the game, and now if he dances, rain poops out. I don't know. This game's awesome.
Makes sense somehow.
Glack was going for another trick right here where he's actually going to spam the photo-taking button, whatever it's called, in order to shoot up, because that actually messes with the FPS of the game to where I believe it prioritizes the shots being on screen.
Yeah, basically. So when you slow down the FPS of the game, the shots will stay up, will will keep going for a longer time. So that means you can reach things that you cannot reach without slowing the FPS.
Yeah.
Oh!
That's you didn't know?
I didn't understand when you explained it to me yesterday, but now it makes sense.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense.
So we need more rain here.
This firewall, the devs wanted us to use the dance here. We have no way to skip around this. That's right. We have other tricky skips.
Also, it's a cool dance.
Yes.
In the PS2 version, you can dance too. The Revolution.
Oh, all right. So right here again, the game wants you to engage in combat with this pirate over here. You actually just learned a charge shot. We're not going to use the charge shot for actually a number of levels, but I'm going to give Glackum a little bit of serious time here.
Yeah, I need an audio cue for this, so. Just a little too high.
Oh,
there we go.
Very nice. Quickly done right there.
nice.
Saved him a good amount of time. Didn't have to kill the pirate, and then didn't have to wait to go back, get Glowbox, bring him all the way up, and do another dance. So we're actually done with Glowbox in this level. Nice first try on the trick shot right there. And nice getting it right back, just recoiling the shot off of the wall right there to go up and get that purple lump. Oh, nice. Brute forced his way in there.
So we go back out the thing after we grab the TNT cage because it despawns the TNT and spawns that portal, which is much faster than dancing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry for anyone who wanted to see me dance again.
Very fast, very well executed canopy right there. We're on a bit of a roll with the last couple levels. Now we go into Whale Bay where we got another potato trick. I'm going to call it potato trick. And that's probably because I love potatoes, so now I'm super hungry. You need to finish this run up so we can go get a bite to eat. Yeah, once again, going to try to push that top potato into the wall and get out. But once again, he's on a very specific timer. Once that air runs out, he has no way of getting air back. Once he comes out of bounds or back in bounds, it'll actually give him a speed boost that he needs in order to hit this load zone. Very nice.
Good.
Very quick, very well done.
After the first try, he came back up just to get more oxygen because that would have been a problem. You have to come back up every time you finish.
All right, the bottle rocket trick. Come on.
Whoop!
Woo,
Right
there you
into
go.
the great escape.
The greatest of the escapes that I know.
Once again, we got 10 lums over here, so we want to clip back and bounce. This is the section where they normally want you to save. I forget her name, the whale.
Carmen.
Carmen, the whale. Sorry, I messed up on that piece of the lore. But they normally want you to save her right there. And we are going to save her, but it'll be weird and off-screen. We don't know. So right here, he's actually got to swim all the way to this load zone. You saw him go back up for air right there because this is a very long distance he has to swim. If he didn't do it, he would not be able to make it all the way.
Tried to switch to my D-pad for a moment so that I could try to keep more straight, but I think I'll be fine.
Nice. That was close, wasn't it?
I ended up going back to my.
It's always a little scary. So that was, we were supposed to follow after Carmen that whole time. The next screen assumes you've already saved Carmen, so we're just going to have her out there. And
there she is.
Yep, Carmen farts, and we are going to use these air bubbles in order to be able to breathe underwater. They're fart bubbles that come right out the backside.
Physics.
But these piranhas actually come and try to eat the farts themselves.
They're not very dangerous in this version. There's a very small chance they'll eat my first couple whale farts, but there's no. It's never been a problem. The PS1 version, I know that this section's much longer.
Yes.
And also much harder. The piranhas are much more readily capable of eating the whale farts. So you have to shoo them away like all the time.
And right here we see the first blue looms, I think.
Yes, I believe it's the first time. We've been doing a lot of swimming, but not where they wanted us to do it. So that's why we haven't seen a lot of those yet.
One of the things with the air swim actually is that the game still counts you swimming because of the glitch of going through the wall. It doesn't count that you are crossing the water surface. the game puts you back into actually walking mode if you go through the water surface again.
Ah, okay.
So as long as you are behind the wall, there is no more water surface in some places, so that allows you to swim through the air.
Ooh. Nice save right there by Glackum. Falling down there would have lost him quite a bit of time. And you're going to see right here we got this long slide of lums, but he's actually then going to cut off to the side, gaining a ton of horizontal speed right there and getting down to the cage. That's because, once again, he wants to activate this Teensy. This Teensy will actually move independent of Rayman, and now he's going to come back and clean up these lums while letting the Teensy do its little jig right over here and open up the final path.
We get distance, though.
Yes.
Camera's having a hard time keeping up today.
Alright, so once again, we got a really good string of levels going on here, really good execution. This is such a brutally difficult speedrun. I'm too weak to play this one. I play easier games.
I believe you.
He's trying to get me to play it. All the tricks are so hard. So that was the second door right there. It checked that Glack had at least collected 300 lums.
Play Tropical Freeze. It's the hardest thing ever.
Oh, it's not.
So right here we see another example of the glitch that Glack tried to do before with the tornado skip. He grabbed that ledge over there, and then now he's going to do a setup to move his position that it's currently saved in the game, as in grabbed there. And he's going to very soon. There you go.
Whoa!
He's teleported all the way up
So
to
close
another
to
grab.
the ledge.
I was going to say, it's very easy to mess up that trick. So, and with that, once again, we have another instance like you were talking about, Peo, where two different teams working on it. We had the art team and we had the collision team. And there was no collision there on that piece of wall. So this completely skips over the first section.
Fun fact, you cannot do this on N64 because both of the section that you just saw me finish and the first section are actually in two separate loading zones.
So this one is another very difficult trick, which is basically what we want to do is to have Rayman being pushed by the plum into the wall and to run against the wall. And there you go.
Wow.
What happens there is that trying to go in two directions at the same time and going through the wall at the same time, the game pushes you back again outside of the wall. And after doing that repeatedly during the same frames up to 5 times, we'll say, okay, we stop pushing you back, and we see what happens at the next frame. And the next frame, you are already on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, I know people have talked about this game works off a lot of, like, I guess stuff oscillates in it a lot. So that kind of alludes to what you're talking about right there. So right here, he's trying to throw up the plum. And again, like, push that think button right as it's landing on him. We had an unfortunate death from the first time, but we can get out of bounds again probably here pretty quickly.
The death is on purpose. You actually, there's like 2 cutscenes. One of them is stops you from being able to move. There we go.
All right. So now, once again, like we saw back in the Cave of Bad Dreams, we're pushed way out of bounds. This level, you can probably tell, look at it, it is absolutely massive. It's another one where if you play this game normally, well executed, it's probably a good like 17, 18-minute level, I would say. Now instead, he's going to be beating it in a couple of minutes with 2 massive out-of-bounds tricks.
Yeah, in the speedrun, if you, even with glitches, 100% takes around like 11 to 13 minutes to beat this stage. It's by far the longest stage in the game, for sure.
So this is the final section we're flying over to right now. We're going to be on this slide that I cannot tell you how much stuff we just skipped over right here. That's why we're going to end up, this level is massive. It's got 50 lums in it. We're going to get 3. So nice long tether right there. I love the tether physics in this game off of the rings.
Well, it's something recurring in all Rayman games, actually, like the tether physics.
Oh, man, and the plums. I don't know if you can tell, but I am a big Rayman 1 fan. I love plums. I wish they were in Legends.
That's why. Yeah, about to say, I'm the big Rayman Origins and Legends fan. You need more plums in there. All right, so this is a boss fight, maybe?
Nah, it's Umber.
Well, he has a title. So.
I was about to say, in the PlayStation 1, I always assumed it was because he went all the way into the lava. I was like, oh, he's the boss fight. In the PlayStation 1 version, I guess Ubisoft was like, screw it. He's a friend. He has a cutscene where he talks to you, and he's like, all right, Rayman, go for it. And then you get like a boss fight with like a super pirate afterwards. But here, I don't know. Let's see if Glackum can get this fight first try.
Right. You know, there is a glitch where you could actually have the cutscene continue going all the way into the lava.
Oh, really?
Luckily, that did not happen here.
All right, nice. First try.
This slope seems to slow you
Good
down
fight.
while you walk up it. Going up upward slopes seem to be slow, so I actually jumped there to make sure I move a little bit quicker.
So that's 2 masks of Polokus down. Again, we're pretty much going to be getting a mask from each of the levels where they're checking for those lum counts. So, all right, so once again, I hope you guys liked air swimming. I believe this is one of the last instances of it in the
This
run.
should be the last instance of air swimming.
So normally what the game wants to do, if you look in the bottom right on the UI there, it's got these 4 switches that it wants you to go around and hit. That's too slow. We're not going to do that. We're instead going to do the potato trick right here.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Very quickly done, actually. And once again, he's on a timer. This one isn't too tight for him to hit the door, hit the load zone. But he wants to come back up in bounds. It might be a little tighter now.
Yeah. If I have to do it a second time, it won't be a big deal. I can actually just skip most of this stuff here. That occurs. It's looking a little bit dicey. Okay.
Oh, there you
my
go.
God.
There we go.
Nice one.
Clutch as heck, my dude. Once again, skipping him over actually pretty far into the second section of this.
Yeah, I would have gone for that cage up to the left, but since we did the walking shell section earlier, there's no reason to.
Yeah, that's again like being adaptive as a speedrunner, knowing that, all right, the route's changed up a little bit. Also a little minor trick right there where he actually angled the barrel up and to the left pretty high so that when he dropped off it and turned around, he could actually get that shot and hit the switch back there. As opposed to having to go up and grab a different barrel and come back at it on kind of a straight-on angle. So he wants to use this to just blow up this idiot. Nice, a little bit of a
The game is a bit
ripple
generous
effect.
with you.
Yes. Good, thank you. He does need to be careful about the movement here because very slight movements, you will dive bomb, you will nose dive into this green goop, which is a one-shot, will take you out.
This hole right here has this camera angle that
Whoa.
could last the whole time.
Oh,
and
God.
I've never survived if that
No.
happens.
Once again, he's breaking open the cage that has a teensy in it. Now when he respawns, the game's like, okay, the teensy's already done its dance, and he doesn't have to wait on it. Now he can just real quickly catch a couple lums and make his way out.
So yeah, the death abusing there makes the teensy spawn, despawn, spawns the portal. No dance. But don't worry, we'll dance later.
Thanks. So here's one of the coolest level of the entire game.
Favorite level of all time.
This was probably, at least as a child, this was my favorite level in platforming. I'm a big sucker in great platformers of really good chase sequences. I love when you make boss fights chase sequences. And this was like the original chase sequence for me as a kid. You've got the boss of this level is effectively just this pirate ship who's attacking you the entire time. But you're also dealing with this rickety bridge that's breaking down, these ropes that are falling down the whole time, the walking shells that are coming at you trying to kill you. Really, really cool stuff all throughout the level. And an absolute banger of a soundtrack this game has.
Hell yeah.
Shoutouts to the Rayman series music in general.
On top of that, in terms of the precipice as in the PC game, like you said, the master copy was 30 FPS. You might notice that a lot of things might be happening a little bit faster than you would have normally expected them to. For example, the marshes is significantly harder on the PC version because of the 60 FPS. Things move faster. You have less time to react. When you hear the shot, I'm coming here, like when they hit the ground and the bridge, you do not have time to react, really.
Oh, so you
have to preemptively jump a lot of the time or wait, because you can actually lose your jump input if you jump at the same time you get auto-rolled from these things moving.
One thing we talk about in the speedrunning community a lot is RNG, or the random number generator. Basically stuff that just determines if stuff is random in your game. And the Rayman series in general, as speedruns, actually are very, very low, have almost no RNG in general. We definitely appreciate that as speedrunners. So a lot of what Glackum's talking about right there, where he can anticipate and know when stuff is coming.
That's why I
knows
stick
he can
to
be consistent.
not only is it like faster to be on the like inward side, obviously, like
Right.
but it also makes sure if I end up messing up an input, I'm much closer to the next bridge than I am if I was on the outer edge.
Also, nicely executed trick right there, where a little bit back there where he could jump up through the side of the trampoline, skip out on a little section of the tower. And now we're seeing this gold fist. First time we've seen it in the run. This guy also tried to go. Nice. Was able to get that first try. That is not an easy jump getting up to that platform. And that's basically just a powered up fist where he's going to be doing something like triple damage or something. I don't know what it is.
It's triple damage when you're doing normal shots, and it's 6 times the damage when you charge shoot.
Oh, I never knew that was the multiplication.
And then the charge shot without the gold fist is triple the damage as well. So 1 gold fist uncharged is the same as a charge shot without the gold fist.
Ah, okay.
But it doesn't triple it again. It's not like 9 times. It's
Right.
6 times.
And you have 3 of them right now, and you lose one every time you take damage, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can get knocked, like hurt and knocked into a pit, and then you'll
There's 2
fall
fists.
into a pit as well, and you'll take 2 fists off.
Theoretically, you could keep these fists till the very end of the game. I always thought that was really cool about Rayman 2. That if you were good enough, if you just like knew how to no damage an area, you would keep this till the very end of the video game.
Fun fact, this is the only section of the precipice right here where it auto jumps you the second that you get the bridge under you knocked. So you actually don't have to do any jumps
Okay.
for this part in particular. I think they fixed that in the Dreamcast version. Those 2 bullets right there that kind of came from both sides are also invincible as well.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
Yeah, so you can't hit
I'm learning a bunch of stuff about the game myself.
Jeff, you just jump over them for them to auto-destroy.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just destroy themselves by hitting each other. On top of that, you'll notice that there's those like grabbable like ceilings. It's actually faster to hold strafe there than it is to just do it normally. It's a different animation and it's slightly quicker.
We also see right here like the
It's more
tracking of the yellow looms.
Yeah. Yeah, they got that magnet effect to them.
Absolutely massive precipice right here. It's like, look at how far the draw distance goes.
And so right here we talked about like, oh, you want to not take damage. He actually does want to take damage because he gets a huge speed boost off that cannonball hitting him from behind. He is sacrificing a fist right there, but there are a number of other fists through the end of the game. I believe this is the first fist you see at all in the game, even
Yes.
casually.
No, Stone and Fire one. There's one.
Oh, that's right. There's one at like the beginning of the level. That's right.
Is this the golden fist that we want to keep for a specific part, or is this another one? This one
Top
with
of the World is next. No, we don't. We're going to be taking a bunch of damage to the Barrow Pirates, so this isn't going to last long.
So we have to defeat this super pirate right here. Gonna hit him once and then actually just bait him because now he's gonna chase Rayman, and there's actually friendly fire on. So the cannonballs that come from the ship can hurt you. They can also hurt the super pirate. So
He got around. Don't worry, the charge fish will get quick work.
Yeah. Want to come up here anyways because there are
There you go.
10. You killed it right before the pirate ship would have. But I'm wanting to go up there anyways because there are 10 lums as you guys saw up there. 2 big fibers.
You have to be slightly on the edge of the stone to actually make sure the teensy will dance with you. If you're too far ahead, it'll ask you to come away. Like, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you can't dance alone.
Right. Need a dance partner.
All right, so vertigo warning for anyone with vertigo.
Yeah,
This part's
we're sorry.
Topsy-turvy. It's 360 motion here.
Yeah. Another really cool section I thought in this game casually. And since it is an auto-scroller, Glackum once again wants to maximize the amount of lums he's going to get here. There's like 31 or 2 or 3 lums or something on this path. I think I'm going to go with 33. That's going to be my guess. He wants to try to get every single one of them here. So needs to be obviously know what's coming up in the level at all times to be able to flip to those different sides and 100% it. Also, hitting anything in this screen will be a one-shot. I guess other than technically the lasers.
I
right
don't
there,
even
but-
know if I've never gotten hit by them in my life.
Well, aren't you special? Maybe some of us aren't as good at gamers. I can confirm those do not kill you.
Okay.
I have eaten many of them to the face. All right, 25. My bet was 33. 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's gonna be like 32, isn't it? Nah, maybe. I at least got the right decade. 31. Oh, was I right? I am a god. I have great memory of 20 years ago. 11 years ago when I ran this. So now we got these big Looney Tune looking dudes. The dudes in the barrel. And he's actually going to be using a trick right here. He's going to just...
He gave me the good energy. This is a 1 in 4 chance.
I never knew he could do that. Well, it's a 1 in 100 when I played. I never knew.
And what these guys actually do is they electrocute Rayman. And the thing is, when you take damage, like the electrocution animation lasts a bunch of seconds, and we really want to avoid that because it is just an absolute loss. So by using the think button, we take the damage without having the electrified animation.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the think button, having that on just cancels out both animations. So you'll see him a couple of times just stop, tank the damage, and then move forward.
Say hi to the Barrel Pirate. Stealthy motions right here.
Man, regular Metal Gear Solid up in here. So actually earlier you saw him jump out and get that one single lum that was over the pit.
Yeah, like right behind this wall here.
It wasn't just getting that. That actually started the cycle of this platform moving back right here. It's a very slow moving platform, so we wanted to start that so we don't have to wait on it.
Nice.
All right, very well. Nice. Died on the propellers right there. And right there for the 7th time or so in this run. Let's see if we can get the think trick right here.
Nice.
Wow.
More cannons.
Yeah, we can't show off the strat that Peo was prepared to tell us about.
Well, I guess that's good because we keep the fist.
Ah, there we go.
There it is. Nice. Okay.
So we took the damage but didn't get electrified.
But once again, for like the 7th time in this run, we throwing that barrel off screen, you just have to trust us. It blew open a door, and it freed a Teensy. That then taking the death, the game says, all right, the Teensy's already over there and already done his dance, and it opens up the portal for Rayman to go through. All right, so now we got our final level in order to get to our 475 lum requirement. To note over there is our other optional level that we could go to get lums. If Rayman 2 ever gets crazy enough to where we have to use that one as well, my God.
And the guy just stays there in the back.
Yeah, he's not too worried about it. Going over this swamp is above his pay grade. This is one of the few kind of straight up auto-scrolling sections left in the run. We found ways to skip most of them. Show off the little first person here a little bit. Now Glackum's going to go for this dumb trick that saves like 1 second maybe. He's going to wait for a barrel to come down, and...
There we go.
All right, nice.
Let me tell you, there's so much stuff, once you find out about the soft tap versus hard tap rule,
it gets a lot easier.
It gets a lot easier to do a lot of gap jumps. I used to be so afraid of like this jump, one of the jumps that I'm going to be skipping. Coming up in Rock and Lava here, there's just this really precise jump over a pit that you would get to the first purple platform. And there's a bunch of nettles there. And it just like, I was like, when I saw it, I'm like, what the heck do? I can't seem to get this jump. And then I soft tap, and it's like, oh, this is how you get over this stuff.
Another gold fist right here. This one he's actually not going to have it for very long because he's going to use some death abuse some damage abuse, some death abuse coming up soon. But it's useful for this one trick shot right here where we're going to try to get this cage.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Normally they want you to run up this platform and then jump down off of it and float down and break that cage. Saves a bunch of time not having to have to do that.
All right, so there's a door right here. You see this door? It's definitely solid until I get void skip again.
Oh.
I didn't mean to unpause.
Oh, you had it first try.
That's a tough one.
So once again, this is a frame perfect trick.
So this is we're not gonna go out of, unlike Jano, we don't want to go out of void. We do it really fast during that part. Here, okay.
All right,
nice.
So we're in this dark screen. We don't know where we are. Oh, now I know where I am. On the other side of the door.
Very nice. This skips over a section where you have to ride on this lily pad and weave your way through all these flames and everything. we're seeing a lot of it right here, what he is skipping over. And he's just going to go all the way to the last load screen to send him to the final section of this sanctuary of, don't tell me, lava and stone. Stone and lava.
Keep trying.
Rock and lava.
Yes.
Rock and lava. I always got rock, lava, stone, fire. I mix up the forwards all the
close.
time.
They're pretty close. But yeah, that was a whole auto scroll section we skipped. Definitely don't want to scroll automatically.
All right, goodbye to most of your health. I think that does actually 50% of your health. It is like the most It's like the most damaging thing in the game.
Yeah, it is. And some of the
It's hard coded too.
some of these textures, like the damage you, like the damage value is different from one to another. But also the hitboxes depend on the toughness of some bits, because I know at some points you have to dodge all the spikes and stuff like that. And they actually made the hitbox of these smaller.
That's so cool.
Because it was more difficult at the beginning.
Oh!
Can I actually make that one day?
All right, this is my favorite skip in the entire game. For whatever reason, when Rayman lands on that platform, he stops and goes, "Yeah!" It gives you a little cutscene. I don't know why that jump. I don't know why that jump was so much more important than every other jump you've made in this game. But that's why Glackum actually went out of his way to grab the ledge and then kind of hover around the trigger for it. So, once again, really well executed level right there by Glackum. Gonna pick up a couple lumps once again just while we're waiting for him to start the dance.
What?
What? Okay.
I swear I was on that platform.
And this is how we find glitch people.
All right. Yep. A lot of them come from mistakes. I know you asked yesterday, how do you find a lot of these tricks? There's a lot of people who are known as glitch hunters in the speedrunning community. A lot of them happen by complete accident. It's a miracle that it gets discovered. I know the Rayman community has found a way to effectively almost like look at the maps, almost look into like the code of the game, and be able to recreate things and be able to find stuff out.
Yeah, we have a pretty dedicated set of people who work on the game internally rather than, you know, through pushing the game's boundaries here. A lot of it is also banging your head against the wall, knowing what already does work and trying to figure out other places where it might work. Figuring out tricks and glitches is not my forte. I didn't contribute anything to this run.
You're the actor, not the writer. Okay.
The execution is difficult already, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to the European Rayman speedrunning community.
Yeah, they're like 80% of the community. The European community for this goes in hard. Once again, while we're doing this section, I just want to give another quick shout out to Ubisoft for inviting both of us out here. I know a lot of this was your brainchild, but getting to have Glackum and I out here to get to represent the speedrunning community and just the Rayman speedrunning community has been a huge, huge, huge honor to us.
I was super happy to have you.
Super excited to do this, and I still am, even now. It's just so cool.
I'm very happy to have both of you here, and for those of us, of you guys watching us, who just joined us, we're going through the Rayman 2 speedrun to celebrate the game's 20th anniversary. We are live at E3 right now, and in about half an hour from now, we will start the Ubisoft Live at E3 live stream, followed in an hour and a half from now by the Ubisoft press conference. So you don't want to miss that.
Right there, he wanted to make sure. This is actually pretty cool. You actually have a little bit of control in that cutscene, so you already get to like propel yourself really far into this section while the cutscene's going.
This section in particular lets you speed up a lot more than the other section. If you hold forward, you're moving faster. If you're holding back, you're moving slower. We're going to be using all of those buttons, going up, down, left, right. The depth perception might make you believe otherwise, but you cannot just hold forward the whole time.
Yeah, he does want to hold back just a little bit here, because if he gets nicked by that bramble right there, he will fall and die.
And even though the lava's moving, it's just one flat plane, death plane, so...
Yeah. Right here,
you can tell where the death plane is by your shadow anyway, so...
He needs to make sure he pushes pretty hard to the left right here, otherwise the game will auto-push him to the right, and he'll miss out on these 10 lumps here. It's also just a little mechanic. It's only here for this level, but we're actually able to fly, as you guys can see. And we're going to lose it here in about 20 seconds now that I just brought it up. Yeah, the boss of this world. He just comes up and you're gonna miss it in the lore because we're skipping the cutscene. But he just literally punches you in the face, and you lose the ability to fly. You'll see in the cutscene right here.
I can't fly anymore.
Yep, bam, and that was a really good Rayman voice. You been working on that one?
No.
Okay, good. So for this boss right here, all we have to do is lead him around and hit this pillar 3 times on top of him. He does want to be careful about running because these flames will come out at different intervals as he goes through. So he has to know when he needs to throw on to hover, which will be a little bit slower than just running the whole time, but obviously faster than getting hit, possibly getting knocked into the lava where he would die.
Yeah, the main thing is I don't want to go too fast or too slow. I want to make sure the stalactite hits his, his face, and I can hit it early if on accident or something, and it'll fall. It won't wait for him to fall down so I gotta keep up the brisk pace here. Wait a little bit there.
There you go.
And then fall in the pit. It's okay. He's dead.
That's gonna
not bringing him back.
That puts him on this side right here, which is a little bit faster, they believe, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Sure. Conveniently, that was also his 40th cage right there. So he's got a lot of health to work with. It's also 3 of our masks down. 15 levels down, 3 to go.
I did not check my lum count, but I think we're okay.
Yeah, we're a little bit ahead because a couple of skips I didn't go through earlier.
And there's a
check it
lot
right
in the
now.
last level as
37. We get
so
26,
13.
so yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So he only needs 13 more lumps. This is the final level where he's going to be collecting lumps, as you were saying.
well? Yeah.
13?
Yep. So you're at 537, right?
Oh, so we don't have to do... Okay. So we don't have to do one of the cages coming up. 10 lum cage.
Once again, adapting the run on the go. And it's back.
That's 10 more lums than I thought. That's good, though.
I almost want you to pause real quick just to make 100% sure I counted right.
Or, yeah, we only...
Yeah, you need 8 more, 7 more. Counting. So if you stand at this exact position, you can trick shot down and bring this platform up.
You have to move a little bit forward on the circle there to make sure that you actually can activate the trigger point. It's like most activation points in this game are like in a diamond shape that will kind of like spherically go around the activation zone or the object at hand. But they still kind of work a little bit further away than normal. The auto targeting is very weird, but I appreciate it.
All right, so in this section, you guys saw back there that he hit a switch and that brought one up. That broke that dude's teeth. Just want to point that out. I love the animation in this game. But that brought up a first platform that you can land on. There are 2 other side rooms you can go to here. Using this one to bring the 3rd one up, we're actually not going to go into the other side room at all to bring up that 2nd switch, because once again with that light tap technique that Glack is talking about, that's going to allow him that little bit of extra distance to go from each of these bone structures and completely skip over that side room, which is good because that side room is actually a little bit lengthy, so this probably saves him a good like 30, 40 seconds. So he's going to want to get all the way into the platform.
Nice.
With ease. Very nice. Once again, jumping up those spider webs. A little bit faster than just climbing in
Shout
general.
out to the 1000th lum that's behind this tomb here.
Dude, I did not know that was the thing until like 5 years ago. Never knew. So he wants to hit this cog just a couple times. The more you hit it, the more the little doorway goes up right there.
If you time it really well, you only need 2 lums, and it's like very barely you can like squeeze in between.
Another super scary level, by the way.
Yes.
The music
just
in
like
this
terrifying in general, yeah. You are in the Tomb of the Ancients. Oh,
just barely.
So close.
Just barely.
I know. I was so glad you went for it, though. You could gain a ton of momentum off that moving structure right there. If you jump off it, you have that angle, and you can just maintain a ton of momentum, possibly carry it all the way to the ledge grab. Would you go for it one more time for me?
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Thank you, thank you. You can do an easier version of it where you just go to the webbing, which is what I went for when I ran this. But no, this is the man version of it. Come on. Man mode, man mode. Oh,
That's gonna be
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah. See, you needed to go for it. Thank you, Black.
You're welcome.
And the entirety of the physics engine was also something that was quite new for the team. This was actually one of the first game where we had a QA team, like a team, not even a QA team, but actually people external to the dev team to test the game. So developers invited the kids, invited their families to try out the game and find out bugs and basically fixing the game on the go.
Was QA testing like relatively new in general back at the time, you would say?
With 3D, yeah. This is the moment where things change a lot because, as we can see, if you know some tricks or if you know how the games works, you can go easily through the walls. You can trigger some specific behaviors that did not happen as easily in 2D games before, and it was really a lot of new stuff for all dev teams to find out about.
Yeah, and even then, like they have like their own like development times, but when people make these games,
We have no lives as
we have
speedrunners.
no time limit. We can spend as long as we want glitch hunting these games. And we will find stuff that no one else thinks of, and it's really amazing.
About to say, people talk about it like in the development cycle. You guys have maybe a year, a couple years to work with. We found some of these tricks after like 20 years, literally. Some of the tricks being found just this year, 2019. Like 20 years of searching, stuff was just found. So it's something to keep in mind whenever we're making fun of it.
And of course, when I showed the latest one, the tornado skip and grab modification, to one of the devs, like he had no idea what was happening.
But yeah, so basically with that tornado skip that I messed up, if you check it in a map, the where I grabbed and where I am on the map, it's like there's a direct line that it'll teleport you to. But walls are suggestions, but floors are not. So the floor will interrupt your thing, and when you hover there, and if you get the hover, it'll just like make you like fly up. I think, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, you got enough lumps.
We don't need to get this cage.
So he actually wants to make sure he takes damage from, if he's going to take damage off that pirate, off of his energy blasts and not from the hook. The energy blast does damage. The hook one-shots you. So you do not want that to happen.
Yeah, so one-shots in this game, basically you death warp and you get reverted back to the checkpoint. There's only actually one true instant kill object in this game. It's the drill pirates. When they drill up from the floor, they will take all of your health.
All right, very difficult boss fight right here in order to get optimized. He's going to try to bait Clark over. He's got a limited amount of time before these lasers will come back up. So he wants to double trip him and get him. That is way harder than it looks like to bait Clark properly. If you are a little bit slow and those switches deactivate, then they're all going to be off cycle from each other. You got to make sure that you reset all of them, kind of let them all deactivate. It's very, very annoying. So cool that you're able to get the one shot right there. All right, so with that is, again, the end of our 550 lumps. We got 2 levels left here, and then we're done with Rayman 2. As you guys can hear, we're starting up the pre-show here pretty soon. Get hype, we got a lot of cool stuff to show off here at E3 at the Ubisoft press conference. Yeah, make sure you stick around on this channel. We'll be kicking it over right after this run is done. But here we are in the Iron Mountains. Again, the last place where we check for our lumps. So lumps do not matter at this point the rest of the run. Obviously, if there's some directly along the path, he's not going to like weave out of his way to avoid them.
Difficult trick incoming.
Nice, was able to get it. And then
oh, nice.
Normally they want you to hit both switches there to get rid of all the electricity, but if your movement is perfect, then you're able to just weave your way on the side right there and not take a death.
That's it, just be perfect.
That's it. That's all you got to do is just be perfect in speedrunning. Speedrunning's a great hobby. Nice damage boost right there from the laser. And right here, this is the most unfair thing in this video game. There's no warning that drill pirate's coming out, so he just had to know that was going to be there and weave around it on the other side, because that will one-shot you.
Well, it's a good way to teach you how it works.
Yeah. All right, his movement needs to be very fast. He's trying to beat out these pirates right here so they don't get in the way. He would like to conserve these gold fists right now.
Still didn't hit it?
All right.
Almost killed the pirate at that rate on the rebound.
How many times did I throw out lums and it just didn't hit that switch? Crazy. So this pirate here, you have the charge,
time.
Yeah, power bomb. Only when I see him aim at me.
Sorry, spirit bomb.
There you go.
Skadoosh!
So you can only target him once he's already targeting you?
Yeah, I believe
it's a certain zone for the auto-targeting. I think that is just the same auto-target zone that he has.
Once again, these jumps can be a little scary. Glackum wants to try to maximize the time he's just falling without actually landing in the water, because that'll kill you. Another instance here where, because I didn't know about short tapping when I speed ran this, I would sometimes jump out with the hard tap and not quite make this flip, which is the most demoralizing thing. It sends you back all the way up to the top. Not fun.
The only cutscene in the game right here where we can't skip it for some reason.
Oh, really? I thought you were just watching it because you like the cutscene.
Because it's the most important one.
I say you gotta know the lore. There's a bird.
Can't skip this one either. This is more like these are like in-game cutscenes.
Yeah, they're introducing you to the area, what you're doing.
None of the in-game cutscenes, like the ones where Rayman's supposed to like move on his own.
This is one of we discovered this trick many years ago, back in the 2000s. One of my favorite tricks in the entire run. I just love how it looks. First off, here he's going to be doing another light tap to just barely get over this gate and catch this box cycle. But now you got this walking shell segment. Normally they want you to go around and like hit all these switches in order to get through this doorway. Instead, you're going to see him just kind of flick himself off to the right and then move back left, which will magnetize the walking shell's feet to the side of the wall. And now we're already outside of that entire structure. Now we just got to make one more jump and we'll get out of the walking shell section. Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Very nicely done. That jump right there is scary, I always found.
You can soft lock on it.
Oh, yeah.
You can get like stuck on like, when you make that jump, you can get stuck on the corner and it'll just infinitely walk you trying to get you forward.
All right, so right here he's going to try to get a lot of height by hitting this from below. Yeah, I'm going to have to reset it up real quick. But you can actually throw it and then cancel out the tether you've got on it, and then shoot back down and give yourself infinite height. Trying to get to that branch right there.
One more time.
This one's a rather minor trick, but still saves a good 10-15 seconds if you're able to get it.
Nah, okay, I'm gonna walk around.
Alright. About to say, he would have done just so you would have got on that slippery branch over there. Oh, he's going for it again. Let's go.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. Just always go for it. It's always faster than just bailing out. So this is barely going to hit a load zone right here. You see Glowbox's wife right there.
Very slow section here.
Yep.
And a quick reminder to everybody watching us on the stream right now, you are currently watching the Rayman 2 20th anniversary live stream. So we're doing a speedrun with SpikeVegeta and Glackum. And the Ubisoft Live at E3 live stream starts in about 7 minutes from now. So we'll be handing over to the Ubisoft Live at E3 live stream very soon. And if you've been watching more than 30 minutes of this speedrun, via Twitch drops, you get a free copy of Rayman Origins.
Loading up a save and showing the last level. It's either this or they miss out on the final level.
No one wants to see this, right?
Yeah, let's skip this.
We're making an executive decision. We were on a bit of a time crunch going into the pre-show right here. So normally right here, you go around, you save 400 of their children. But we're actually going to just load up and show you guys the final level. Final level's got a lot of really cool skips and stuff in it. That one's just a long auto-scrolling
All right,
section.
so let's just pretend that I got out, beat it, the portal.
So good,
Switch.
so fast.
All right.
All right, so here we are in the final level. Woo, he did it. He got the full
It's
massive
insane.
progress. And so this being the final level, very, very difficult level, both casually and for speedrunning, because you're going down, a lot of it's this sliding section where speedrunners are going to want to optimize this as much as possible, jumping on the slide as much as they can, giving themselves as much speed as possible. This level, I know Glackum told me, absolute nightmare and 100%, because you need to get all the lums, which in this next section in particular, actually impossible.
It's not, it's almost actually
It's actually impossible. I'm going with actually impossible.
Yeah. It took me an hour the first time I ever tried to practice it just to get it one time. It's definitely impossible.
There you go. I'm glad we agree on this matter. But this is a very difficult section because there's no checkpoints anywhere in it. And if you miss anything, like look at that lum way over there on the right. Who put that there? Come on! Thank you for bringing us out, Ubisoft, but come on, 20 years ago.
That's replay value. You just replay the game
There
over
you
and
go.
over until you get it.
So right here, he needs to make sure he hits that and gets the big boost off of this one. Another big boost coming up right here. If he falls into any pits, he's got to do this entire section again. All right, cool. All right, pretty well done. First try right there. Now we have one more super pirate that we need to dispose of down here and hit the switch.
So we still have the golden fist at this point.
All right, so he lands here. You charge up your fist right in this spot. Oh man. Okay, that's fine.
Man, that was weird on that hitbox right there. Still got you.
You gotta hit that switch. It has to be on screen.
All right, so very nice. Yeah! Aww!
It's on purpose. We gotta get up here to go to this flying shell.
Yeah, so we had the walking shells before, now they're the flying shells, and you'll see what they do here in 3, 2, 1. They fly, what do you know? Yeah, so this, he has full range of motion. It's a little difficult to control him going all the way through, and the whole last section of the prison ship here.
Did I not hit that switch? I guess
looked-
I didn't hit the switch. Okay.
To note the golden fist he lost out on right there, that was the last time it means anything, so that wasn't a problem.
It's a very interesting switch.
I'm surprised you didn't hit that switch. It looked like you hit it. Whatever.
It's fine.
Blame it on the devs.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Thank you for bringing us out, Ubisoft. This water's great. Okay, so yeah, here it is, the big flying shell section. Again, just a big obstacle course, got to weave your way through, and after this, we just got the boss fight to go. Yeah, again, hitting any of the walls or anything will cause you to lose a ton of control, usually just lead to death.
Very tricky part.
Compared to the sliding part, this is much easier for me.
And right here, this laser is actually locking onto you, so that's why you see Glackum kind of weaving up and down a lot, so that it constantly is missing
Yeah,
them.
as long as you're moving, they don't hit you. And you obviously want to keep going straight, so it's just easier to go up, bob up and down.
All right, so nice prison ship right there. And now we go into just the final boss fight himself, the Crow's Nest. First phase right here, we want to kind of guide these cannonballs to where they go basically to his groin area, right in between the legs. If they're a little too far to the left or the right, like just aiming for the feet themselves, then he will wiggle out of the way and avoid them.
Yeah, he's got like rocket boots,
Uh-huh.
and then just like jet him out of the way. It's really, really cool.
So after 3 of these, we'll move into the final section, and the final boss fight goes very fast.
This was my childhood robot right here.
It does look really cool.
I mean, he's a 50-foot giant right here. Look at him. Compared to me.
All right, heading down, so
RNG.
nice RNG. So we got this power-up. Normally what they want you to do, each power-up has 5 shots to it. He went ahead and shot it 1 extra time while it was in the lava. So now he's gonna go up, this is a Easter egg put into the game by the devs. He's gonna hold A and B and then go to this completely secret area where if he's able to survive this section, he's gonna get a infinite power-up of these shots.
So we are about to reach the end of the game. As soon as we actually defeat the final boss, Ubisoft Live at E3 will be starting. And while Glackum is basically bullying this poor boss,
Can I get some discovery on for Remy?
yes,
Yes.
basically I just wanted to thank Spike for the commentary and Glack for the speedrun. Give a quick shout out to the entirety of the Rayman speedrunning community.
Time.
And also, I would like to dedicate this speedrun to Remy Gazelle, who passed away a couple of weeks ago and was the composer of the first Rayman game. And his music made Rayman what it is today, part of it. So we dedicate this live stream to him.
I absolutely love that soundtrack, so happy we could dedicate this to him. So once again, thank you guys for having us. That was an awesome Rayman run. Thank you, Glackum, for it. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of E3.
Yep, coming right up is Ubisoft Live at E3, which will be followed in an hour from now by the press conference. And in 2 hours from now will be the Rainbow Six Celebrity Showdown. So you don't want to miss that because it will be 2 teams facing against one another. T-Pain versus Little Yachty. So you definitely want to check this one out. So here we see the ending scene. And there is no more Rayman.
I was about to say, this. Go play the game yourself to see how it ends. The game's amazing.
Deeply humbled by you guys letting me come out here and do this. I'm so happy. Thank you all so much.
Thanks for coming here.
Woo! Fist bumps. Heck yeah. Yeah, that was good. I'm glad we did that.
We good?